Welcome everybody to the news newsletter. I am Christine McIver, and this is my wonderful co-host and producer, Milica Jelenic. Welcome, Milica, to today's news newsletter, and we're doing something a little bit different. So let's jump over and see what's going on the network. All right, so we look at who the featured host is. That's
Look at that. Well, congratulations on being our featured host. You're also our featured CEO and our featured producer this week.
Well, I don't produce all of them. I have wonderful people like yourself and Keisha Clark and Rhonda Burns who produce, which is so much fun. But I get to be the featured host this week. And it's so much fun because, you know, people get to know a little bit about what I do and what I talk about. And, this past week, my show was Become a Conscious Manifester. I really enjoyed doing that show. You know, sometimes I wonder if, from a host perspective, Milica, are you ever challenged with doing a show?
There are times, absolutely. And sometimes those shows will bring up all the stuff. You know, you write a title and you have no idea that it's inviting you to become more conscious, actually.
Right.
So that's part of becoming a conscious manifester. Is you put something out in the world and then all of a sudden the universe conspires to have you become more conscious.
Right. It's that whole philosophy of what you focus on will actually come up in your world. It will expand, and it will expand into your world. And it's funny because there's sometimes it's like, why did I choose that title? Well, maybe you didn't choose it. Maybe it was a conspiracy to get you to step forward. But this show, it was really fun for me. I really enjoyed it. It brought forth a lot more awareness. And to me, it actually wasn't what I thought it was going to show up to be. Because we were talking about so many different things about consciousness and about manifestation and what those words actually mean, the root words, and how that actually starts to play out, and our role in it, because it's more than just being spiritual. There's a lot more to it. So anyways, I had a lot of fun doing that show. I enjoy doing my radio shows. I love when people are in the chat room playing and when people call in with their questions. And it's just, for me, it's all about, you know, really what inspires you and what choices are you making that you could maybe choose differently to inspire you to create the life and the desires that you want to have show up. I think we talk about it a lot, but we actually don't go into action. So I guess that's where, for me, it's like, that's where I really challenge you to kind of bring the two together. Bring your desires up. Now get moving. Get your ass in gear.
Take action.
Take action for it should be inspired choices and action now.
Yeah. Choice plus action equals new reality.
Hashtag Milica Jelenic. That's so awesome. So we've got so many amazing shows on the network. Of course, you can come down here and you can see what's currently been created, and lots of the shows there. And of course, you can go to our podcast page. We have over 5,000 shows in our podcast, which is friggin' amazing. Like, think about that, Milica. 5,000 hours of recordings.
A lot of recordings, and 250 of those are mine.
No, you're amazing. You have created some of the most fabulous shows. I mean, I love your shows, especially the one last week. It was great. We also have, which a lot of people maybe are not aware of, is we actually have an article, a magazine, where our hosts and guests of our hosts who have been on the radio, they are invited and welcome to write an article for the network. And this Joanne Lefebvre, Conley, she was a guest on Mary Dravis Paris's show, BU Parenting, and she wrote an article called Alternative Medicine to Prevent and Heal Diseases. So, you know, these reads, they're not super long, but they're great reads, lots of fabulous information. So do come over and check out Joanne's article and see what other articles. I mean, if you're somebody that enjoys reading, there you go. You can listen and you can read about what's going on. So this is, you could do it at the same time. I don't have that ability, but We have a future shows page, and we're just going to talk about what's coming up from this page. So Monday morning, we start off with the SOAR Experience with Lori Hawkins, and this week she has a guest, Victoria Braid and Barrett, and they're talking about becoming me. I'm very excited about this show. These are two very dynamic women, and they look at things from different perspectives. So that's always great to bring in a new perspective to expand what's going on for you.
And after that, we've got Who or What is Stopping You with Julian Banez-Musi.
Right.
She's also an author of a book called Dating for Expats too. So you can find that on different Amazons as well.
I should send that book to my son because he's an expat now. We follow up with Candace Mao, and she's going to be talking about the joy of self-care. It's interesting because Candace always has a guest. So this week, yay, we just have Candace, because I love just hearing from our hosts. That actually is a joy for me, because I love guests, don't get me wrong, but I also enjoy hearing our hosts. Yeah.
And then we've got BU Parenting. We've got Inherited Points of View, Toss with Mary Dravis Parrish. I'd rather inherit money than points of view. Just saying.
Me too. Hands up. Anyone? We're then following with Karina Stoffel. Karina is our one of our multi-language hosts. She does her shows in both English and in German. And this week she's doing her show in German. And I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Okay, I'll try that one. Wohlwollende Führung. Do
you have any idea what that means?
No idea.
Well,
I like it.
It's going to be something about awareness. It's going to be something about consciousness. And there's going to be a lot of questions in there. She is really fabulous at that. I love the way she does it. When she first started her show, when she would talk, she would be, initially for me, it was really slow. And I'm like, why isn't she speaking? And then I was like, oh, she's inviting us in to ask the questions as well. And she's giving us space to really be in that question to see what comes up. She's fabulous at doing that. A lot of hosts talk really, really quickly on shows, radio shows and podcasts, and she's fabulous with her timing.
So we've got Amy Wall. She's one of our newest hosts, and her show this week is called Extraordinary Life Over 40 with her guest, Natalie Milashenko.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm loving Amy's show. Can you tell? Can you see that, my skin? I
know. Well, Amy does coaching, right? So conscious beauty coaching. So if that's something you're interested in, check that out.
She is great. And then if you love learning about finances and increasing your ability with finances, and you'd like to add joy into that, this week, Financially Speaking with Kathy Cook Noble, our host, she has a guest who, Jackie Emmons, who is going to be talking about bring joy and laughter into your business.
So Jackie Emmons is a long lost relative of mine. I've met her at a class, and we actually discussed how we are somehow long lost relatives. So I'm very excited that Jackie's going to be on her show.
Oh wow! I did not know that. That's very cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, such a small world. Yeah. So, and Kathy also has a book, All Ladies Should Use the F Word, a guide to loving your finances. Fabulous book. This woman does finances in such a simplistic, easy to understand and take action in. It really is a gift. So I really enjoy having her in our world regarding finances. And then it's your show, Milica.
Yes, The Art of Arousing Through Spanking. So if you have some points of view about spanking, if you felt like a little queasy about it, this show might help invite you into learning how it can be fun.
Wow, I can't wait to hear that one. You always have the best topics. Then we have our wonderful multi-language lady as well from China, Elfie Zhou, born in Holland. So she does her shows in Dutch, lives in China. She does her shows in Chinese and speaks fluent English beautifully. So this week she's talking about looking back and looking ahead. And that will be an interesting show, I'm sure. Then we move over to Adine Tinola.
Love Adine. Her show this week is Pursuing the Truth About Sexual Orientation with guest Rick Clemens. And Rick is the opposite flip side coin of her life, where she lived in a mixed orientation marriage and did not know that her husband was gay. But this is the flip side, where he knew he was gay and he was also in a mixed orientation marriage. So two perspectives.
Wow.
Very interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing that one.
That's so cool. We've then got Love, Life, and All Things Weird, and we also have Aligning Divine. We don't know what their shows are going to be this week, but they're fabulous hosts. Surprises. Who doesn't love a surprise, right? Then we move over to another one of our newest host, Jen Posick. Jen is the ads maven, and this week she has a great guest. They're talking about testing funnels organically, and she is a career and business coach, Liz M. Lopez. Awesome.
Cool. And right after her, we've got Would You Rather Be Right or Free with Dan and Lewis. And Dan has always got great, insightful shows on luscious leadership.
Most people want to be right, and then when they realize that they're in prison with their rightness, they want to move to freedom. So it'll be a great show. Oh, I'm so excited about my guest. So this is my show coming up this week. Do you struggle to make your dreams happen? Yaha Barua is a published author. He is very well known. He has been interviewed by many people, including one of my most favorite interviewers, George Stropolopoulos from Toronto. And his story is phenomenal. And it's so fun how I actually met this young man and was pulled into his world. I mean, talk about pulling energy. This dude is good. He is really good.
Oh, cool. Right after that, we've got, well, not right after, on Friday morning, we've got Sharing Your Voice Through LinkedIn Content Creation with Carla Taylor, and she is our resident LinkedIn expert. So if you want to learn anything about LinkedIn, definitely join her shows on Bring Your Brilliance.
Bring Your Brilliance. Then we follow, after that, we have our wonderful Awakening with Angels host, Dr. Deborah Unipan. This week she's talking about you can't live in darkness and expect positive to manifest in your life. And that's part 2. I love her shows. I love how she just like really makes you pay attention and take action. And she calls it like it is. She sees it, which is so much fun.
And great stories on that show.
Great.
So right after Dr. Deb's show, we've got our magical Lisa Bennett, who's a space whisperer, on her show Infinite Energies. And this week is What Mood is Your Space? And that'll be interesting, because I think sometimes we don't think of the mood in our space.
No, I love that topic. It really made me kind of go into wonder about it as well. And then wrapping up our week is our beautiful Dr. Andy with Dr. Andy's World. And she's going to be talking all about energy flows. So that's something that a lot of people that's kind of like a hot topic right now, which is very, very cool. And so you can see we've got a wide variety of topics. If these ones are popping, please come. You can listen live, or again, you can come over and you can check out our podcast page. And on our podcast, you will find over, so Lisa's was the last show that we had, so that's why she's featured there at the top of the page. But you can come in here and you can search in all different ways, or you can just come up here in the search bar and put in anything that you want to search and find the topic that's popping for you. You can listen live on 51 platforms, whether you're listening on the computer or on your phone, when you're out walking, driving, cooking, whatever you're doing, you can listen on 51 different platforms. It's so much fun. And after those shows are completed, we have them podcasting. This is not yet complete. We are actually podcasting on 50 plus platforms, anywhere from iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, podcast.com, radio online, like you name it, we're all over the place. You can find us and all of our brilliant hosts, and you can check those out. And if you've ever thought about bringing your voice to the world and you wanted to get more visible, we actually have some pretty cool opportunities available, especially for coming to the end of the year. So reach out to us. You can check out the host opportunity here. You can come here and you can check out live videos from our hosts who are sharing their experience of having a radio show. What was it like for you, Milica, when I first said, hey, Milica, have you ever thought about having a radio show? What was your first response?
I thought you were crazy. And I thought, there's no way I have enough content. There's no way I could talk about this topic for more than one show.
Yeah.
So 248, I think, is my official number. And I think I've actually talked about more than one thing. And not only that, it's actually invited me to see my expertise that I didn't see before.
Right. Right. Yeah. When they always first called and asked if I had thought about having a radio show, I was over the moon excited. And then the very first thought was like, how long do I have to talk for? And okay, I talk a lot. Like, it's true. And I was still fearful that I would be enough of an expert and that I would know enough to share. And here I am going into my 11th year of having my own radio. No, 10th year. I'm going into my 10th year of having my own radio show. And it's funny. It's funny how much, like you say, your expertise really keeps coming forward and coming forward and coming forward. And for me, and I know for a lot of other hosts, they have talked about how that has invited them into speaking more, has invited them into really stepping up their professionalism. So, and plus, it's pretty cool. You are all around the world with your voice. And
I think too, if you are shy, if you're like shy about talking publicly in front of people, for me, this was such an amazing way to be able to speak to people at first and then develop that skill to speak in front of a crowd. So if that's something you desire, this is a great stepping point to be able to do that.
I agree. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging around with us, and have a fabulous week. And we can't wait to hear you on the airwaves. Bye for now.